The patient, a 50-year-old male, presents with GI symptoms, severe hypocalcemia, metabolic acidosis, and acute hepatic insufficiency. Despite supportive measures, the patient dies a few days later. Would you have immediately thought of plant poisoning? Well, this patient was one such case, and while many plants along the James River Park system can be safe, some plants should be avoided. In this presentation, we will discuss 4 plants that are considered poisonous or toxic to humans, livestock, or pets, and they are pokeweed, horse nettle, Johnson grass, and poison hemlock, along with one other plant that is not poisonous, and that is the wild carrot. Pokeweed. While this plant seems like a harmless weed and was very common around the James River Park system, it turns out the plant is highly toxic to humans, pets, and livestock. The plant generally gets more toxic with maturity, with the exception of the berries, which have significant toxicity even while green. Pokeweed can grow up to 8 feet. It has branches growing from the top of a smooth, greenish to purplish stem. Pokeweed has simple, alternate, and entire leaves along the stem, and they appear lanceolate to ovate. Common pokeweed may also cause mutations and birth defects, so the juice of the plant should be avoided at all costs. Pokeweed does well in rich, somewhat disturbed gravelly soils and can be found in pastures, roadsides, open woods, and wood borders. Horse nettle. Horse nettle was a plant that was commonly found along the James River Park system, and it was found in well-drained, sandy or gravelly soils, and it also does well in fields, waste places, and gardens. The leaves are alternately arranged, green, long, and about as half as they are wide. Leaf margins are coarsely lobed with 1 to 4 pairs of large pointed teeth per leaf. Leaf surfaces are rough, covered with pubescence, and have long spines on the midrib, vein, and petioles. The 5-petaled flowers are pointed and may be white or another color. The tomato, like fruit, is what is toxic to many animals and should be avoided. Johnson grass. At certain developmental stages or under certain adverse environmental conditions, Johnson grass may form cyanide-like glycoside compounds that can poison livestock. The seedlings and sprouts generally have higher levels of this compound than plants that have reached the flowering stage. Environmentally, Johnson grass is most toxic after drought, extreme heat, frost, or when plants are wet with dew or light rain. The leaves and above-ground stems are coarse, total plant height may be up to 12 feet, and the inflorescence are spikelets that are paired. The plant flowers in July and is commonly found in wasteland areas with rocky soil and full sunlight. Poison hemlock. This plant is particularly dangerous because all parts of the plant are toxic, and it looks like wild carrot in its leaf-shaped taproot and white umbel-like flower head. But poison hemlock can easily be distinguished by its stem, which are purple spotted, smooth, and relatively stout, and by its leaves, which are hairless. In contrast, the stem of the wild carrot are slender, quite hairy, and the leaves usually have some covering of hair as well. Poison hemlock is commonly found along roadsides, field margins, ditches, in low-lying waste areas, and along river woodlands and open floodplains. It does best on shady or moist ground. In contrast, the wild carrot has one dense flower cluster on a narrow hairy stem, usually with one purple flower in the center of the flower cluster, and is usually shorter than poison hemlock. If you are ever in doubt, keep in mind you can always call your poison control center or go to your local emergency room.